Let's take a look at a couple of 3-digit numbers. 306. So what does this number mean? 306. We have 3 digits, and each one of those digits has some meaning. We have our hundreds, our tens, and our ones. So in this example, we have 3 hundreds, which means 300 little tiny squares. 0 tens, which means we have none of these, 0 of them. And then 6 ones. So 306 is represented by that model. 3 hundreds, 0 tens, and 6 ones. Let's just set these aside for just a moment. We'll put these up here. And I have another number. 138. So this number is 138. 138. 100, like that, one of those. 3 tens, 10, 20, 30, and 8 ones. So you'll notice that we had a 3 in each of these numbers, but this 3 stood for 30, and this 3 stood for 300. And that is one of the really cool things about our system of numbers with place value, is we can use the same digit to represent 2 different things. If we couldn't do this, you'd have to have a different symbol for every possible number, which would be a lot of symbols. But we only have to learn 10 different digits, 10 different symbols, and with those 10 symbols, we can write any number. That's powerful. But in order to do that, we do have to kind of really understand this place value business. So let's take a look at these 2 numbers. And specifically what I want to do today is I want to subtract. I want to say 306, and I want to take away 138. So I'm going to set up some columns here, because when I subtract, especially numbers with a lot of digits like this, I really like to use columns to keep my numbers organized. I find that the number one mistake I make is my numbers get disorganized. Now, if you're using paper instead of dry erase, look at that. You don't even have to draw the columns. They're already on the paper for you. You just have to turn the paper and use them. I love this. This is my favorite strategy for using paper to do arithmetic. So please use it. Here I drew my columns, and I'm going to write these numbers to just make this a little bit easier to do. So same numbers, 306, 306, and 138. 138. And I'm going to subtract this. And the reason that I want to do this particular set of numbers today is because of this 0. It has been my experience that students become very good at subtracting numbers. They become very good at regrouping and rearranging numbers. And then they see a 0 and all kinds of problems happen. And it is a little bit more complicated, but you can handle it. So let's take a look at this number. 306 minus 138. So, as I've asked you before, you don't have to start with the ones place, but I think starting with the ones place is going to make your life easier. So I'm going to ask you, please, pretty please, start with the ones place, but you don't have to. But I think you should. 6 minus 8. So I have 6 of these, and I want to take away 8. So I like to think of this as I want to make a pile right here that has 138 blocks. Well, I don't have 8 to take. Does that mean that this is impossible? No, it's not impossible. It just means we have to do some rearranging. Obviously, 306 is greater than 138, so I know we can do this subtraction. We just have to do some rearranging. So, we don't have enough. Sometimes kids will try to change it. They'll say, oh, we'll just do 8 minus 6. That's basically the same thing, right? We'll just put 2 down here. But that's not going to get us where we want to get to, because it's not 8 minus 6. It's 6 minus 8. So we need some more 1s. So in the past, what we do is we say, well, let's take one of our 10s and we'll break it up into 1s. So we say, okay, let's go over here and we'll get one of our 10s. And there's no 10 there. There's nothing to break up into 1s. I don't have a 10. What do I do? Well, before I can do anything else, I've got to go get a 10. So how am I going to get a 10? Well, I'm going to take one of these hundreds and I'm going to break it up into 10s. So I can take this 100 and I can trade it in for 10 ones. Get rid of that 100, 10 ones. Still 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. It's still 100. That hasn't changed. It's just in a different form. And now I can put it there. So I don't have 300s anymore. I just have 2. And I don't have 0 10s anymore. I now have 10. So now, 6 minus 8, we still can't do 6 minus 8. We have 10s, but now we need to get one of those 10s and break it up. So let's go back over here. Let's get one of these 10s. Okay? Let's break it in to 10 ones. They're both the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 10. Get rid of that. 10 ones. Well, now look at this. We've got to make another change. We don't have 10 ones here anymore. Now we only have 9. How many do we have here? We had 10 plus the 6 that were already there. Not 10. 10 plus the 6 that were already there, which is 16. Now we can do some subtraction. 16 minus 8. Well, let's take away 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. Better move those up so you can see them. How many are left here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 16 minus 8 is 8. Well, 9 minus 3. Let's take away our 3. Take away 3. 9 minus 3. How many are left here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 9 minus 3 is 6. And here we have 2 minus 1. That's a pretty easy one, is 1. So, 306 minus 138 gives us 168. And we can do this by regrouping.